Hello everybody, as you can see on that side, I hope you can see, that is a M135, the brand new one, the 2019, 2020, whatever, it's COVID, no one cares. And we are racing this against the previous M135. Now, as most of BMW people, that is now a 4-cylinder. I'm gonna make this warm because it's a bit hot, but now it's gone away from having the 6-cylinder. So we're gonna see if the new one is any good. Does it match up to the old one, which I'm a huge fan of, but we'll see.
You need to take note, that is an M135, which means it's got the N55 motor, not the M140, because that has the B58 motor. The reason why we have chosen an M135 is because we could get our hands on an M135 and not an M140, unfortunately.
He's still yabbering and yabbering and yabbering. I call this the perfect old school versus new school because I'm older than Cisco. I'm in the older vehicle and he's in the new one that's supposed to be all flash with the new dash and all. And look, I'll be perfectly honest with you, we'll drive that vehicle. It's a very nice vehicle, but that's the problem. It's nice and it's a performance vehicle, and performance vehicles are supposed to be more than nice. So that's my initial problem with it, but more about that later. Now we are going to race them head to head. Let's see who comes out on top.
But it also plays to the name quite nicely because it's an M135 versus an M135. What we want to find out today is if BMW's new technology with their xDrive system and the 2-litre engine is superior to their old technology with their 6-cylinder engine. So it's going to be an interesting test. Let's see what happens. I have got 4-wheel drive on the side. Richard's got rear-wheel drive. He's heated up his tires, as you have seen. And for me, it's just simply a case of activating launch control and going. Personally, I think I'm going to win. It only makes sense. I've got a 4-wheel drive car. He doesn't. He might have a bit more power, but I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Looks like he's ready. Let me just switch off everything. Okay. He's going to have the little bit of jump on me because he's got 4-wheel drive. But I don't know which one he's trying to say. But we should be able to claw him back. So you put it in sport. I'm going to let the gearbox do the work. I'm just going to initiate launch control and I'm good.
Oh my word!
Go! Oh, we got a little bit of slip. And as we said, we're matching him nose to nose. And what we said, old school's going goodbye. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Come on, baby!
I'm actually losing! How can the new car be losing? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Let's roll. You cannot beat old school. Oh, I've got an M135, I've got an M135, I've got an M135. Oh, I've got an M135, and I can slide this thing!
What? That is a rear-wheel drive. We literally left at the exact same time. Look at Richard gloating. I can't believe that. That makes no sense. I'm even sweating.
Cisco's getting upset because he's cleaning the camera. Every single time I clean the camera, I just hoot like this and he always gets up front. He's so angry. Why are you so angry? Hello, Cisco. We're recording clockwise, right? Yeah, we're on. Oh, I got the other way. Okay, so let's turn this down.
Yeah, you can just leave it now.
Okay.
Because I can also turn my heated seats off.
Really?
Because I don't understand why it's like a never-ending joke.
Because that joke will never end, Cisco.
First and foremost,
I don't like this car.
well, let's actually just start off. Like, can you just do that so that no one in the camera actually will see what's going on? The one thing, you know what's wrong with this car?
Everything.
No. Okay. I'll tell you what's wrong with this car.
Okay.
The name.
Yes.
The name is wrong with this car. So because we are used to the M135 being a 6-cylinder rear-wheel driven car, forget the rear-wheel drive aspect of it. A 6-cylinder has always been the essence of the M135. And another thing we need to remember is the reason why people drive the long arm of understeer.
Scandy flick.
Okay, there
It's trying to. You see, the traction control's kicking in. Don't kick in, car. I know what I'm doing. That's the frustrating thing about this car. Like, it just drives me insane. Like,
So-
do you know what the problem is with this car? Yes, I know you were going on and about a huge tangent, so but I'll point out what I find ridiculous about this car. This car, you are 100% right, should not have been called an M135.
Yes.
Because an M135 should have been continued. They should have called it. I don't know.
I don't know. This is literally a replacement for the 125.
Yes.
The 125 was
Yes.
a 4-cylinder engine.
100%.
It was the kind of car that had these kind of characteristics, but with a better chassis.
Yes.
And we understand cost saving, the way of the future, you know, the way the car works. You want it to be a front-wheel driven car. In the case of this car, it is xDrive, right?
Yes,
Before
yes.
we get into the silly stuff,
Yeah.
the thing about this car is an M135 has always been a baby M car.
Yes.
So people who bought
careful
no,
with
no,
that.
no, 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 no,
A
well,
baby M performance car, not a baby M car.
put it this way.
that's
No, let me justify what I'm saying.
Okay.
The guy who has aspirations.
Internet trolls just sat there and like, what? What?
No, no, no. If I were to justify what I was saying, the guy who has got aspirations to drive an M,
Yes.
before he gets there, at least he has an M135. 6-cylinder rear-wheel drive. That's how it was in the past.
Yeah.
You didn't feel shortchanged. Maybe I can't drive an M car, but I've got that car. Now there's nothing in there. In the 1 Series range, there's nothing in there. And even in the 2 Series range, the M235 has got this exact same setup.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same.
It's
There's
not the
nothing
same at
to
all.
replace what that car was. Because you can't tell me now with a 2 Series, okay, cool, if you wanted a 6-cylinder engine, your only option is an M2 competition. In the 1 Series, there's no such thing
Yeah.
as a 6-cylinder engine
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But then you had these diehard fans who drove those cars, and they were brilliant cars.
Yeah.
So BMW have literally replaced the old M135 or old M140 with this car, and it's not a replacement.
So here's the thing. So they're saying that there will be a 140, which is going to be a sporty version, but
is it gonna have a 6-cylinder?
we don't know. We don't know. So
yeah.
my biggest thing is that it's going to be sacrilege that if it doesn't. And at the end of this, yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not going to fight you. At the end of the straight, I'm getting out because I'm not enjoying this car. This does not feel like a BMW, and that for me is the biggest disappointment because BMWs were called the ultimate driving machine.
Yes.
Do you remember that slogan?
Yes.
And for me, this does not feel like a BMW.
Yeah.
As a BMW fan, I'm
Yeah.
thoroughly disappointed with this car. And,
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to say, but it has to be said.
What's scary is the fact that a 2020 vehicle lost a race.
From a 2016 old school 6-cylinder.
2015 M135 and
Yeah.
not M140.
M135,
If this was, imagine
yes.
if the M135 with 240,
It would
450
have
kilowatts,
just get out.
250,
Well,
500 on an M140. Let's give it a bash. Are we ever gonna reach a point in
No,
our
no, we're
lives
not.
where
We're going to be 80 and I'll still put your heated seat on. It's going to happen all the time. So before you carry on, do you know what I drove? The one thing that I don't like about this car is the 4-wheel drive setup. I don't like how it feels in that it torque steers too much. And you get cars that will torque steer in first or second, in a low gear. This
Yes.
torque steers in 7th gear. Like I didn't understand. Like I was driving it here to the track and it just didn't give me. That's also, I didn't make you freak out, eh? We're not setting lap times here.
I understand that, but I mean, you can feel the front end wants to, and the rears want to kind of help me a bit, but then, I don't know, it just feels
The long
front
arm
end
of
scrub.
understeer.
Front end scrub. And I mean, I'm being gentle. Even if I slow it into the corner, and I turn in, and I literally track rule slow
Yeah.
and fast out, and I power out here, it just doesn't feel engaging.
No.
It doesn't feel engaging.
Do you know, for someone who does not want this car for the sporty element, who's gonna leave it and drive and carry it, then it's fine. Still
No,
won't
for
be
someone
happy.
who doesn't want that, just buy a 118.
And the 118 is perfect.
Yeah.
And I understand. Here's the thing. Yes, because a lot of people say critical. Yes, motor journalists are critical and critical. Yes, we are, and we understand where manufacturers are going. Because if you think about it, you did not place this corner properly. I saw that. People do not use a car for like this all the time.
No, of course not.
No one's gonna drive a car like this.
But at the
100%.
same time, guys who own these cars, they want to still drive enthusiastically.
Yes, 100%.
And yes, being out on the racetrack right now.
Why is it hot here? Did you pull a Richard on me?
No, I did not. I mean, I can tell you straight away that, like you said, this doesn't feel like a BMW.
Nope.
It doesn't feel like the BMWs we've come to know and love. And it's sad, it really makes me sad as a BMW driver, as a person who's loved the brand for a long time. It just feels, and you know what the worst part is? It feels completely different to what we know.
100%.
But then you can't also blame the four-wheel drive aspect of it. You can't, because why is it that a Golf R still feels good to drive?
Yeah, that's true.
Why is it that a Golf
true.
R still feels
That's
great to
very
drive?
true.
And that's a four-wheel drive car.
That's very, very true.
So you can't use the excuse of four-wheel drive nature. They could have still done a little bit more to give us that BMW-esque driving experience.
You see, what I'm just learning now, where you're placing the car, is that we didn't play enough Gran Turismo when we were younger.
Oh, please. But I mean, that being said, I think we need to get into the old girl and remind ourselves what BMW was about.
Yes. Why not ask me without wearing my mask?
What did I just... No, man, you can't take it off.
I'm gonna drive it like I stole it.
So lame. As we were saying, so it's crazy. There you go. Now you please carry on with what you're about to tell the lovely people. Is a 2015 M135, 85,000 kilometers on the clock. These cars go from anywhere. A facelift like this will go from 350, 400,000 Rand, and you would not be shortchanged in buying something like this. Because the first thing you notice, even as a passenger, you can feel how unencumbered your front wheels are. And again, that's not super important from a day-to-day perspective, but in a setting like this on the track, oh, man,
Oh, it's on! Why is it on?
Oh yeah.
Are you afraid I'm gonna finish your tires, Cisco?
No.
Are you okay? Oh, what a pleasure!
No, that's
What a pleasure! You see, that's what's missing out of this car.
Yeah.
Is this fun element where you can literally back it into a corner and send.
Don't say it like that. Nah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing.
This
you can't fight
will
that.
not get old.
And listen to
that's
it,
not.
just listen to
it.
And I mean, this is 240 kilowatts, 450 newton meters of torque. Well looked after.
Sorry, what did you say?
450 newton meters.
No. What did you say in terms of power? I even lost
240 kilowatts.
This car?
This is 240 kilowatts in this car.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's 235.
No. M135 facelift is 240.
You're
exactly that.
You're 100% right.
Exactly
Sorry.
that.
But
240.
Okay.
So
Never mind. I was gonna give away secrets.
no. There's no secrets. This is a completely, because just in case you were wondering, this is a completely stock vehicle. So there's no thing of, oh, it won because, you know, it's in any ways faster than the other car. No, it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
Oh, I messed that corner up. I messed it up.
Yeah, so the one thing
missed
that
that
you
corner.
realize as well is, yes, that's the one thing about the M performance cars, is that they don't have the M differentials.
Yes, it doesn't hook up as much.
Yes.
You need to throw a lot of revs at it
Yes.
for the rear to get excited
need to-
into
exactly.
yeah.
What was that?
I have no idea. But see, that's how excited I am. I'm tripping over my words because now I'm in a car that like has elevated.
Listen, high revving 6-cylinder. That's the thing. And we're not asking, we understand. We understand that things have changed, times have changed, there's all sorts of emissions laws. So you can't get these kind of setups anymore. But still, if you're gonna replace the car, replace it with something that is literally can do that kind of thing. Now I've got FOMO.
You see, now I don't want to get out this car. Did you see that slide, by the way, this guy? Did you see the angle? Did you see the happiness there, my son? There you go. You can have your car back. Sorry, people. I took off my... But we are in a safe environment. I'm stopping on it, as you can see. But we had our seatbelts on.
Oh man.
I do not want to get out of this. This is a car.
Yeah.
You see, this is why we love BMWs.
Yes.
This is why we love BMWs.
Yeah.
Don't come in at 90 k's an hour.
I mean,
this is not a drift off. I've got a son to get back to and a wife, and you've got a wife to get back to. Hey,
no,
Francisco's married, people.
People do know that. But what I love first and foremost, you come into a corner and you can feel the front wheels are just there for steering.
Yeah.
They're just there for steering.
There's no interruption.
Yes.
There's no one. It just goes.
Exactly. Torque steer. What is that? You can literally just brake. And the thing is, what it does then, it creates a very predictable nature in this car with this kind of setup. It's really, really, really enjoyable. I mean, look at that. I understand exactly what's happening in the chassis, and it's just something you don't.
Because you just missed that apex altogether.
Oh my word! And the thing is, you don't understand. Like people,
I keep on telling you, Gran Turismo, bro. You would have known all these cars
on Gran Turismo.
On Gran Turismo. Six cylinders.
You can't miss around.
You don't get better.
That's the thing.
Better.
And it's not about going sideways, because it's not like everyone's going to be going sideways
it's about
in a car like this. But then you get
understeer.
The long arm of understeer. That was a lot of understeer.
Goes nowhere.
But so you
have that.
Yes.
You can now play with it, because now you're getting understeer. You can, okay, cool. I need to excite the rear axle a bit more.
Yes.
I need to get more. You know,
you can play around with it a bit more. And that's what I love about these cars, is that these kind of setups, is that this was, yes, it's not a baby M car, but it was a good entry level, so that when you do get to that point, you can just really enjoy having a car such as that. So I don't know, it makes me wonder, like, why BMW?
No, I understand why, and I'll tell you why. You've got hectic emissions coming, you've got hectic things which are not, the manufacturer's not able to make the cars that they used to, which we fully understand, right? Which we fully understand. But the thing is, my biggest problem... I've trained you well, my son! I have trained you well!
No, your problem, man. My hands weren't as good as what I'd want them to be. But
no, you got that one wrong. You got that one wrong.
No.
The other one you got right. I give it up to you. I give it up to you. I trained you well. Oh, that was a nice one. That was a very nice one.
Oh man, but that's the thing. That's the thing about these cars, is that they are driverless cars. You can't mess around.
I've got a sweat going on. I don't have a sweat in the M135.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's the thing. If I
send it, boy, send it, send it, boy, send it, send it. Send it, boy. Send it, boy.
No. I might not be Chris Harris. My hands aren't as clean, but at least we can hook a car around the corner.
You can send it. People, okay, let's just what you call this. Okay, I'll break down my frustrations with the M135. The M135 is no longer a performance vehicle.
Sorry, just say that again before the PDC is
okay. The M135 is no longer a performance vehicle. That should not have the right.
It's a fast hatchback.
It's a fast hatchback.
Yeah.
And my biggest problem is that with fast hatchback, you have all these expectations, because I got into the car expecting, cool, I knew it was a 4-cylinder, so I knew how to downplay that, but it still didn't feel the way and it torque steers too much for me to call it. I think that car is, it does not deserve that badge.
Yeah.
That should be called an M, I don't know, not even an M. It should be called something fast.
It should have been 1 Series,
I don't know. M Performance 125, something like that, but not a
M135. It doesn't deserve the badge that this car wears.
BMW,
only this car with a 6-cylinder rear wheel driven car deserves its engine. And that's the reality of the situation. We love BMW and we've got a long history with these cars, but unfortunately that new vehicle.
I learned how to do donuts when I was like 15 in a box shaped BMW. That's how far. In an E12 even. In an E12, I went to E12, then E30. You know, so especially amongst black people, that's what one thing a lot of people don't understand. Black people have this thing with BMWs because they were Kasi cars. You know, you always, when you walk into the shops, your car would sing and you always hear it. So there's an affiliation with that. And for us to have now that called an M135 with the 4-cylinder, with its torque steer, with its 4-wheel drive system that's just everywhere, it's just not the right car.
And the problem with that is that because now the 6 cylinders and the very exciting engines lie within the M cars, it becomes less accessible. Which, you know, in order to really buy into what you really loved about BMW, you have to pay a lot of money. And that's very sad because you can get these cars at a bargain price. So
out about, what is that car?
That's about over 800,000 rand for that car.
I would, for the money, I would buy a 2017, 2016 M3.
Yeah, or even a 140i.
Or even a 140i.
You can get
that car
good deals
is
going at 140i.
so accomplished.
250 kilowatts.
It's not
500 newts.
what?
And again, if this car could walk that car,
Yeah.
what's a 140 gonna do?
That's what it would do.